Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Pan Future Society podcast. I am your host, Sean. It is Saturday, September 24th, 2016. Thanks for joining me today. It is a lovely, foggy, rainy day in the Pacific Northwest. I hope it's good wherever you are. Yesterday or the day before was the first day of fall. Is my favorite season. I think I have a reverse seasonal affective disorder. When it's all bright and sunny, I just don't like it. Anyway, I don't really have a opening rant and ramble today, so let's get right to your news of the moment. Well, early on in the description of the show, I decided that I was not going to be overtly political, except in terms of where politics and issues of science and futurism would meet. And in this bizarro world election season that we're having here in the United States, I've kind of more sort of stayed out of it, and I have my own personal choice for candidate. I think out of the ones that most people know about, some are certainly more pro-science than others. I don't think it's hard to figure out who that is. But if you are still totally unsatisfied with your choices, I have something here for you. Zoltan Istvan is running for President of the United States. He is the candidate of the Transhumanist Party. So there you go. People have artificial hearts, walk with exoskeleton technology, and all this health improvement might lead to eventually brain implants, and all these technological breakthroughs give us a chance that our lives will be greatly extended. And for some people in the transhumanist community, they would like to even become immortal. Now, Zoltan Istvan is running this year as the science candidate, and he wants to encourage America to embrace science and technology and transform our lives and the planet by overcoming poverty, aging, and even death, all within about a generation. Now, of course, reality must set in, and I know, and Zoltan knows, that his chances of actually being elected are practically zero. However, this year, due to the dissatisfaction with the two major parties, quite a few of the third-party candidates are getting a lot more attention, and I think this is a great year to try to bring more attention to a candidate such as Mr. Istvan, and I apologize if I'm butchering his name. He has got some great ideas. The Transhumanist Party has great ideas. And I think if you want a party that is looking down the road farther than the next election cycle, this is a place for you. Laws regarding drones and autonomous cars are on the horizon. And Istvan argues that the 250-year-old American Constitution, as impressive as it was for its age, needs some big adaptations. As he has noted in an interview with Futurism, the reality of exponential technologies is changing our society significantly and moving us beyond the kind of society that the Constitution was designed to address. In addition to having a party platform, there is a Transhumanist Bill of Rights that you can have a look at the Transhumanist Party website. This Bill of Rights includes all kinds of things, basically applying life, liberty, security of person, and happiness to all human beings, sentient artificial intelligences, cyborgs, and other advanced sapient life forms. So if you're wondering down the road if a robot will be considered an individual, the Transhumanist Party thinks that yes, they will be, and we need to be ready for that. Article 2 of the Transhumanist Bill of Rights also says, under penalty of law, no cultural, ethnic, or religious perspectives influencing government policy can impede life extension science, the health of the public, or the possible maximum amount of life hours citizens possess. So another big idea behind the Transhumanist Party is that we should use technology as much as possible to make ourselves healthy and live as long as we want. Because, hey, life is great. It's much better than the alternative. So that's a couple of the things in the Transhumanist Bill of Rights. Now, also in the party platform, a few things from the party platform for this election cycle. Implement the Transhumanist Bill of Rights, advocating for government support of longer lifespans via science and technology, lay groundwork for rights for other future advanced sapient beings like conscious robots and cyborgs. Item 2, spread a pro-science culture by emphasizing reason and secular values. Item 3, create stronger government awareness and policies to protect against existential risk, including artificial intelligence, plagues, asteroids, climate change, nuclear warfare, and disaster. Some other items. Item 6, advocate for morphological freedom, the right to do anything to your body as long as it doesn't harm others. Defend genetic editing and other radical science that can transform healthcare. So that's, at some future point, I will certainly do a show on transhumanism itself. Partly transhumanism is the idea of extending life or merging with machines to improve your physical performance or mental performance. But it also includes modification. Some people now have bionic arms because they're amputees. But it is possible in the future people will just choose to have one because they want one. And there is some risk, I think, of society dividing into two parts, those who are altered and those who are not. And I would like to see policies in place that prevent that and keep us all, and no matter what changes we undergo, we are all still human. And a little bit about Mr. Istvan himself. He is Hungarian-American, Ivy League educated, having studied philosophy and religious studies at Columbia University. He is also a former extreme athlete and is credited with inventing and popularizing volcano boarding. I'm not exactly sure how popular that is, but he did spend time as an adventure journalist, and there's videos of him snowboarding down the ash slopes of an active volcano. So he might be a little bit nuts, but that's my kind of guy. He is also a businessman and married with 2 daughters. He is 41 years old, so if elected this year, he would be the youngest person ever elected. As unlikely as that may be, hopefully this will all bring this future technology, healthcare, transhumanism, and all of that further and further into the public eye and make it part of our everyday discussions. So Zoltan Istvan for president is running with the Transhumanist Party. You can see the Transhumanist Party online at transhumanistparty.org, or you can also go to zoltanistvan.com. Just go to my website to click those links and figure out how that's all spelled. That is your news of the moment. All right, continuing still with our artificial intelligence series here. This is part, 5 now? I can't keep track anymore. Anyway, this will be the last in the series, at least for the near future. And this week, I'm going to talk about warnings and concerns about artificial intelligence and its applications. Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, and others have offered warnings to us as artificial intelligence continues to develop. Some have thought they were over the top, but their main offering, an open letter, is far from dire or fear-mongering. The letter is really a call for more AI research into the thinking aspects of the technology. So much emphasis recently has been placed on the functional hurdles, and not enough effort has been directed toward the questions of motivation and morality. Like much of our technological progress, AI will likely accelerate its improvement once we cross a certain threshold. It's essential that we don't race ahead so quickly that we fail to remain in control of what we are doing. Some of these warnings have also called for banning AI from the battlefield. It is actually already somewhat in use there now. But while military research has often been a driving force behind technological progress, we have also decided that there are rules, such as those against using chemical weapons. Obviously, some don't abide by rules, and the thought that there can be rules to something so pointless as war, to me, is absurd. But the call put forth by Musk and others is not to hamper development, but to be sure that we don't race ahead with our technology so fast that we can't keep it under control, that we don't forget to fully consider the implications. In many ways, AI is more like a virus than it is like the atomic bomb. Bombs are hard. Chemical weapons and viruses are much easier. Out-of-control AI is a threat that could spread itself rapidly around the globe. Just ponder for a moment the idea, if you're struggling to imagine out-of-control AI, machines that make their own decisions by whatever parameters they have can start to make choices that we don't expect, that are unpredictable. And if you think that's not very possible, well, consider for a moment the idea that artificial intelligence is intended to think like people. And then ponder for a moment the state of the world today and how not good people are at considering their best interests and acting in those best interests. But again, this is not to be alarmist. This discussion is all to be sure that questions of morality are considered. That's not always done in science, because science is a tool. It can build and it can destroy, and it's up to humans to choose well. However, artificial intelligence can both be the tool and the wielder of the tool at the same time. It's a new problem that needs new solutions. On a potentially less dire note, artificial intelligence will have to solve many situational problems that we take for granted. One way to get an AI to perform a task is to program a reward system. Not quite a literal reward like you might offer a child for doing chores, but a way the system programming can reinforce what it's doing. If your cleaning robot is told using dish soap is desirable when cleaning dishes, how do you make sure it doesn't use the whole bottle at once and dump suds all over your kitchen? It seems trivial to us. We've had time to learn common sense. However, common sense only seems common because we learn it early in life. Another more serious question is known as the trolley problem. The trolley problem is a thought experiment in ethics. The general form of the problem is this: there is a runaway trolley barreling down the railway tracks. Ahead on the tracks, there are 5 people tied up and unable to move. The trolley is headed straight for them. You are standing some distance off in the train yard next to a lever. If you pull this lever, the trolley will switch to a different set of tracks. However, you notice that there's one person on the side track. You have 2 options. 1, do nothing, and the trolley kills 5 people on the main track. 2, pull the lever, diverting the trolley onto the side track where it will kill 1 person. Which is the most ethical choice? This problem was first introduced by Philippa Foot in 1967, also analyzed by Judith Thompson, Peter Unger, and Francis Cam as recently as 1996, and revisited in 2015 by Larman and Oates. This problem has a number of variations where there's different numbers of people, or do you know something about the people on the tracks or not, or there's the fat man variation. Trolley is barreling down the tracks, you're on a bridge, and you can stop it by putting something in front of it. As it happens, there's a fat man standing next to you that you can push over the bridge and onto the tracks, killing him to save the 5 people. It might seem partly a little bit silly, but these thought experiments sometimes set up situations that don't seem like they would ever happen. However, they do happen often, and we as humans have to react to these situations. Sometimes you can't tell, if you don't know anything about any of the people on the tracks, what you should do. And again, this being part of a thought experiment about ethics and morality, maybe there isn't a right answer. But this question could come up. In a self-driving car, what are its priorities? Does it always keep its passenger alive no matter what? Would the self-driving car, in order to avoid a person in the street crossing against the light, swerve and drive up on the sidewalk, killing someone else? These things are, as people, we don't want to have to deal with them. I hope you never have to be in that situation. But we do these things, and we make these choices, and maybe there isn't really a right choice. If you're in a car, and you make a choice that saves your life but kills someone else, or saves a bunch of people and kills other people, sometimes we just call that an accident. And there was no, in the heat of the moment of a car accident, maybe there's no conscious choice at all. We just react to it based on our past experience, unconsciously. But will a self-driving car do that? Does it have past experience? Does it have an unconscious reaction to a given situation? If something like that happens with a self-driving car, recently there have been some accidents that have killed their drivers, but when it comes down to it, if that happens and a self-driving car kills a pedestrian in order to avoid crashing into another car, is someone at fault, or is it just an accident? So in a nutshell, that's the trolley problem. How do we expect a self-driving car to react in that situation? The trolley problem and its variants are a fascinating read, even just from a human psychology standpoint. I highly recommend you go to the Wikipedia page and read about it and all of its variations and what people have thought about the implications of the trolley problem. What is a right choice? Is it only what we think is right? Can a decision be objectively right? Artificial intelligence will have to solve this problem just like we do. Another problem artificial intelligence faces is one that plagues all technology. Will everyone have access to it? We already have that problem. People who are poor or live in less developed countries do not have the same access I do. Some inroads are being made toward equality, but for the interest of the long now viewpoint, all technology needs to be available to everyone equally. I hope that AI, robotics, and other technologies are able to lower costs and reduce scarcity so we can more easily bring technology to everyone. Artificial intelligence is useful and its applications are wide. The rapid growth in the last few years has focused on the technological problems. As Elon Musk and others are calling for, more research needs to be done in areas of AI cognition and neuroscience. This is now starting to happen with groups such as Google proposing setting ground rules and regulations for AI. We have an opportunity, I think, to teach AI what is good about humans and not teach them the bad. AI is already everywhere, and it will continue to grow. It's up to us to make sure it serves the betterment of all people and helps the growth and survival of civilization. In the 1940s, a group of scientists helped develop the world's most destructive weapon. 70 years later, atomic weapons are still the most destructive weapons ever made. Sometime after the first test, Robert Oppenheimer recalled, quote, "We knew the world would not be the same. A few people laughed, a few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and, to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, 'Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.' I suppose we all thought that, one way or another." End quote. The atomic bomb was developed in secret. These scientists were the brightest of the day, but didn't have the computers and simulations that we have now. Their estimates on the blast were off by about half for what they thought its force would be. I don't think they were entirely certain what they would get. Today we don't have that problem. Artificial intelligence is out in the open and people are talking about it. There are open forums for its development, and the top people and companies working on it are working together to make sure its development does not spin out of control. They are talking about stopping a world-destroying weapon before it's actually been made. That is the essence of long-term thinking, to avoid a problem before it becomes a crisis. All right, that is your show for the week. Thank you, everyone, once again for joining me here on the Pan Future Society podcast. If you would like to get in touch, stop by our website, panfuture.org. Email me, sean@panfuture.org. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. The Twitter handle is @panfuturecast. If you would like to make a donation to keep the show running and offset some of the costs, that would be lovely. Email me to find out how to do that, or pop by the website. There's a donate button there. And I hope you all have a terrific week. This was probably, out of all the AI shows, perhaps the most downer, because all these global threats and worried about the Terminator coming, but don't worry, superhero Elon Musk is on the case, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Don't lose any sleep over this. We got this. Don't worry. It's no problem. I will talk to you again in the future.